has the networking helped you though? Is networking something you still use?
It is absolutely the main frame of my business. As I say, my first foray into networking was in 2004 when I worked with the Luxury Marketing Council, which was essentially a network for luxury brand managers. And so, yes, and from that point onwards, I have always used networking. And when we couldn't find a network, we created our own.
Yeah.
So, and I say for people listening to this, you don't have to suddenly build a business and have this, big network. You could just get 4 people who do what you do and love what you love and meet them once a month, every month with a strategy, with an agenda.
Yeah.
There's a network. And I've done this on numerous occasions. What I will say, what was very interesting with the COVID pandemic, after having left London, moved, I was in a different market. I did a huge rebrand during the 2020 of my marketing and social media business. And I decided to really niche it down just to social media training because that's something I love to do. And I used to be a lecturer in the subject of social media marketing for Le Cordon Bleu, the chef school in London. So that love of teaching and the tech behind it and the networking all came together in that. But what the pandemic also showed us is what the market wants. And I think I mentioned this on the You Are the Media event when I was talking to everybody on stage, is that people looked at my website and went, okay, she does social media. And I used free diving as the analogy for deep diving into it. And I yes, I got clients, thankfully, but there was this other thing going on where people were like, they're just curious. Like, how do you hold your breath? And what's breathing, breath work? And you dive. Tell us about that. We know you do social media. And I have to say, maybe it's the experience I've had setting up businesses, and also the time, the headspace during the COVID pandemic to think about what I wanted to do. I was able to transition very quickly from the social media training into the breath work because I could see what the market wanted, but I also felt very passionately about the breath work as much as I had about my social media training from 2010, but it was time for a change. And half the battle is letting go of something that you've built and you love and and I had to have a conversation with myself, including with my business coach, who said to me, his words were, Tracey, just do both and see what people want. So I did.
Yeah.
And guess what they wanted?
They wanted to breathe.
They wanted to learn how to breathe properly. What a gift. What an absolute gift. I feel a huge amount of gratitude because in the last year, I've launched I'm in the process of launching business number 4, but I've had to deal with, wasn't a failure. I see the social media rebrand as an enabler. Because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I have to come back to your good question about networking. Because I'd spent so much time on Zoom in these networks over the last year, I was able to get immediate feedback from people. So I wasn't going into my business number 4 blind. And I say this to everybody, use your network. If you don't have one, create your own. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
And right now, I can honestly hand on my heart, networking brings in the vast majority of my clients because they see me, followed closely by social media, because yes, again, they see me. So, I don't have a website yet and I'm launching a new brand name. That hasn't stopped me from having a business and it hasn't stopped people working with me.